Soft, intense tone with dramatic pause. When my ex-husband tried to take my kids away from me, I didn't just fight back. I made sure he paid for every year of pain he caused. And by the end of it, let's just say his bank account was crying harder than our kids ever did. If you've ever wanted to see karma work in real time, hit that like button, subscribe, and buckle up. Because this story is about surviving abuse, outsmarting a manipulative ex, and walking away with the sweetest revenge you could ever imagine. I used to believe in happy endings. When my first child was born, I thought I had it all: a growing family, a husband, a future. But the first crack appeared when he forced me to quit my job. Not asked. Not suggested. He looked me dead in the eye and said, "You're staying home. You don't need to work. Your job is raising the kids." At first, I tried to convince myself it was out of love. But deep down, I felt the shift. I had just lost my independence by the time our second child was 2. The truth came crashing down on me like a truck. He was cheating. Not only that, but by then he had become cruel verbally, emotionally, and yes, sometimes physically abusive. The night that changed everything came when I saw him yell at Terrify, our oldest. The look on my child's face broke something inside me. I kicked him out that night. That was 2012. And that was when the real struggle began. I was alone. No family to help. No job. No money. I begged him to help with the kids. Do you know what he said? "The courts haven't ordered me to give you a dime." He meant it. He refused to give me a single penny. He even lied to the bank and had my accounts frozen. And when I filed for default divorce, he assaulted me. I can still remember my hands shaking as I held the paperwork, wondering how my life had gotten here, from wedding vows to restraining orders. Finally, after 6 months of living on fumes, the judge stepped in and ordered him to pay $2,562 a month in child and spousal support. Of course, he didn't pay a cent until wage garnishment kicked in. By then, he was already $6,000 behind. I used that to get permission to move away with my kids. A small win. A year later, I remarried. I finally felt like I could breathe again. When I looked through the court documents, I saw a box that would have stopped spousal support when I remarried, and it wasn't checked. So I figured I was good. I accepted that year of support, $12,000, and decided not to file for my share of his retirement account. I thought I was being fair. But then in 2017, completely out of nowhere, he filed for sole custody of the kids. That was when he learned I had remarried, and that he had paid me spousal support during that first year. I told him point blank, "You can let me keep that $12,000, or I'll file to split your retirement." Instead of taking the deal, he demanded I pay him back. The judge sided with him, kind of. They increased my child support, then deducted the repayment from that, which meant he technically repaid himself, and I got an extra $20 a month. And he dropped his custody case. All he got was 2 extra weeks in the summer. That should have been the end of it. But he just wouldn't stop dragging me to court. So I did the one thing I'd been holding back. I filed for the retirement account split. And oh boy, did he fight. He delayed it for 4 years. He was so obstructive that the court sanctioned him and forced him to pay me $600 a month on top of child support. By the time he was finally charged with contempt, I almost felt sorry for him. Almost. In January 2021, he got engaged to his girlfriend. And in May, the retirement account payout finally came through. I can't tell you the exact number, but I will tell you this. It was about 4 times the amount of that $12,000 I had overpaid. So, in trying to hurt me, he ended up losing way more than he would have if he had just let me keep it. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Not long ago, his fiancée emailed me. She told me that it was my fault he wouldn't marry her because I cleaned out his retirement. I reminded her that he had a choice. I even suggested, if you really want to marry him, get a prenup. Protect your assets. She refused. Called me a thief. But I never asked to be financially dependent on him. He was the one who made sure it came down to court orders. He was the one who chose spite over fairness. And in the end, karma did exactly what it does best. The final image of him, furious, broke, his fiancée frustrated, was my closure. All the years of tears, the sleepless nights, the fear, the humiliation, they were gone. Replaced with something colder, calmer. Satisfaction. For once, he couldn't yell. He couldn't intimidate. He couldn't do anything, because the law, the very thing he had used as a weapon, had turned against him. Sometimes the best revenge isn't screaming or fighting, It's letting someone dig their own grave and simply watching them fall into it. He tried to take my kids. He lost his retirement. That, my friends, is karma with interest. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell me in the comments. What's the most satisfying justice you've ever seen? And if you want more stories where karma comes knocking, tap the video on screen. My evil boss tormented us. I gave debt collectors his number and destroyed his life. Trust me, you don't want to miss that one.